What's happening, people, man? Welcome to the Flex and Rants show. I'm here with Rants as usual.
Yeah, what's going on, people?
Happy to be back again, man. You lot are loving the show. We're happy to keep giving it to you every week. Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Now, let's jump straight into it, man. The season started. Manchester United against Leicester. We got a 2-1 win. In the performance that I thought was okay in patches, but nothing special. You could be overcritical and say that there was a lot of patterns from last year, but I was like kind of optimistic because, you know what, it's the first game, players coming back off injury, I'm not going to bash anyone, and it was all right. It was just all right. That's
all it was. I think it was just all right. Like, if we're being overcritical, what I would say is the starting 11 that played, I'd say 90% of them done the whole pre-season. Do you know what I mean? So with that in mind, I was disappointed that I didn't see anything different. It didn't look like we'd worked on anything different that we hadn't worked on last season. Do you know what I mean? It was the same formation, bearing in mind that up until the Bayern Munich game, we played a 5 at the back, well, 3 at the back. Yeah. 3, do you know what I mean? And 2 up front, which I want to see 2 up front because we have 4 strikers. Then we went back to the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, whatever the hell you want to call it, against Bayern, which was dog shit. Yeah. And then we done the same against Leicester. This Alexis from the left, I hate.
That's not working, is it? Like, I don't know how we're going to get the best out of him there. I just don't think we will. Like, it just isn't working. I know we had some glory days at Arsenal from that position.
But his best season for Arsenal was up front, bruv. They dropped Giroud and played him up front as a false nine. Yeah. Alexis needs to play up front with Lukaku, bruv, in the 2 to get the best out of him. From the left, he's too predictable. He cuts in and he tries these passes that aren't really on, bruv. Do you know what I mean? His only saving grace is that his work rate's good. So for me, like, it was more of the same of last season, and that's the only thing that worried me. Obviously, we didn't have our full strength squad, but in terms of the movement, the pattern, the organisation, I saw very much more of the same. Mata playing from the right, but not playing from the right, and just being nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Rashford looked like a fish out of water.
He just looked really lost in it. I don't know what... I don't actually... look, this divides opinion, and again, drop your views in the comments in the boxes below. This is what this is all about. I don't really know if his best position is actually up front. I'm not really sure it is.
It's not. Marcus Rashford is not a striker, bruv. Marcus Rashford, if he worked on his game, I think he could be a brilliant right winger. Because he's got the pace to go down the outside. He's got a decent enough delivery as well. He's not a striker. He's not clinical. And his movement is piss poor, bruv. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, back to goal, it's not good. Like, he's a very good attacking player when he's got his head up running at people. So play him out wide. I would have played him on the left and played Alexis up front. So, like, forget that. Like, let's bun the negatives for a second, because for me, I didn't see many positives, but we don't need to talk about that now because it's only the first game of the season.
Exactly, and that's very important to remember that,
So let's remember, it's only the first game of the season. You never know, we could get all our players back and it could click. But from an organisation, management, coaching point of view, I didn't see anything new. What I did like was Andreas, bruv. Like, best fucking acquisition of the summer. The guy is mustard, bro. Mustard.
And it's like, the frustrating thing with it is, why is it taking this long for him to obviously come to fruition within the side? Fair play to Andreas. He probably knew he weren't going to get no game time, so I'm not knocking him for going on loan. But what I'm saying is, from our side of it, shouldn't really have taken that long with a player in your academy that is that good to get into the side. But look, he is here. That's the main thing. And it's weird, isn't it? Where the transfer window was dead for us. We know that. That's done. But I've said it many a times before. The best parts of this transfer window, yes, Fred obviously is a signing, but could be just keeping the likes of Pereira, actually getting him into the first team, keeping the likes of Martial and getting Pogba playing again. That could be the best business we've done in the summer.
I think it is, and also I think the style of football, Pereira and Fred, the Brazilians, they like the little quick football, intricate stuff, man. We don't have that because Matic is very slow, he's languid, he turns back, he doesn't pass forward very often, and he likes to dribble with it, whereas Andreas and Fred like to pop it and keep it moving.
And they got a little bromance thing going on there. You're countrymen. I've seen an interview of Pereira saying, you know, it's hard for it to settle in a new country, etc., etc. I know what it's like. And that's the sort of chemistries you want between the players. Another player who played, he had a steady game and got his first senior goal, Luke Shaw, man. Like, don't get me wrong, we've given him a lot of criticism. You've definitely given him a lot of criticism. But what did you make of that, of his performance?
I thought it was all right. I think that performance as a whole wasn't great, but I don't think he was tested, but he didn't really come up a cropper, which is the most important thing. Do you know what I mean? My main criticism of Luke Shaw is he doesn't block enough crosses. Like, people can beat him down the outside. Like, and I think Jose doesn't like that either, because I've been at games, and because of where I sit, I'm right on the wing anyway, and I see he gets beaten down the outside very easily. Like, he very rarely blocks crosses, whereas Ashley Young does that very well. So I think it was a good performance from him overall. It's encouraging. I think Jose is going to give him 4 games because he has to, because Ashley Young's not fit. So it's up to Luke Shaw, bruv. Like, that left wing, actually, I was going to say it's yours if you want it, but it's not. I think that Jose's going to play.
He's just going to bump him out.
He's going to play Ashley Young anyway. Jose's got his favourites.
It's
Young, Lukaku, Valencia, Matic. These men are fit, they play, innit? Jose's got favourites. He's never hidden that. So I think there's nothing Luke Shaw can do to become a starter for us. There's nothing he can do. But you can stake your claim and actually start to repay the price tag, bro, because we paid 30 M's for you, and like, you haven't given us a season yet, and it's 4 years.
Well, he said that he feels he doesn't deserve a United contract. He feels he has to earn it, and that's 100% true. So, Luke, if you're watching, this is the time for you to definitely do that. Don't get me wrong. You've had criticism and stuff, but we're behind you. Obviously, there was times last season, because a lot of people have tried to say, oh, you're so harsh on Luke Shaw, and let's not get this twisted. There were times last year, I come out and backed him 100% when he was playing well, and I was like, why is Mourinho just taking him out the side and putting Ashley Young in?
Bro, I was backing Luke Shaw all last season. Like, as a footballer, do you know what I'm saying? I'll always back him, but my questions are over his attitude and whether he acts like a player that's at an elite club.
Which is, you're not the only person to question that, when elite level managers have questioned that. Pochettino, Van Gaal.
Every manager he's played for has said the same thing.
So it can't be
Van
false.
Gaal had him running by himself, blood. Do you know what I'm saying? So people can say I'm being harsh, but the bottom line is, there's at least 4 managers on paper that have said that his attitude is not good enough. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can call it whatever you want. It's easy to point fingers at people like me, but the facts are, the guys that are sitting in the driver's seat are saying the same thing about the lad.
100%. Before we move on from the Leicester game and the performance, first game of the season, sum it up. What have we learned from that? What I know it's very early to obviously take any huge indications, but from the early signs, first 90 minutes under a lot of players' belts, what can we take from that?
Bailly, Lindelof, give them a run out. Give them a good 10 games, because they're our 2 best centre-halves. Give them 10 games. I want to see that. Andreas Pereira, quality player, man. He can also do a job on the right wing as well for us. I think he's a better option than Juan Mata, because his delivery is beautiful, and I think that Lukaku would thrive off the delivery, man. Everyone saw the free kick. The guy's got tech, man. He can put the ball in. So I think Pereira... Fred looks promising. I think he still needs to...
He's got to grow into it.
He needs to adjust to the pace of the Premier League. A few times he got caught in possession, and that's only because he's not used to the pace that will come. But I think Pereira, was the standout player for me, man. His mobility, the way he received the ball in tight spaces, the way he always looked to pass forward. I'm a big fan. 100%.
Drop your views, your comments in the boxes below. Obviously, smash that like button. What did you guys think from the first game of the season? Is there not anything to take from it? Is it the same as last year? I spoke to a lot of the fans in the fan cams who actually said, just the same old shit from last year. But then some fans were optimistic. Pogba captain, scoring, Pereira in there, Fred in there, Lindelof by, you spoke about that. And sure, so there are a lot of positives to take from that. Now, on to the next subject of this next show, of today's show, sorry. Jose Mourinho. We have to look, we get sometimes labelled, a lot of people do it, oh, you lot are so negative towards Jose, you've got an agenda, etc., etc. Whatever you want to think, that's your opinion. But when he does something good, we have to commend him. He was positive in his press conferences after the game, I thought, and he was actually bigging players up for positive performance. Do you feel that that was good from Jose, or you think he was just doing it because, I don't know, we had a poor transfer window and he wants to get in the good books? How did you see that?
Bro, I think that everything he says, he's a very calculated man, innit? So everything that he says, there's always an agenda, there's always a motive, innit? He's doing that to galvanise the boys, and rightly so, but that's what he should have been doing in pre-season as well, for me. Do you know what I mean? And then it should have carried on. Better late than never, I say, man. I think we have to give them encouragement, because no one else is coming in now. He knows that. He knows that what he's got is what he's working with. So because of that, it's only right that he encourages them. If he didn't,
he's only messing himself up as well.
Yeah, he's only fucking himself, bruv. Because at the end of the day, he's got to keep these lads at least until January. He can't bring no one else in. Do you know what I mean? So, it's only right, bruv. And I think that, rightly so, a few guys had a few good games. So yeah, he was just doing his job, really.
And that's what I mean. He almost kind of has to, shed some positivity, because there's such an agenda against him in the media as it is. Whether like you think it's right or wrong, that's what is. And they always jump on him for being too negative. So I think he actually thought, you know what, because he still believes that he's got players coming back. Like he bigged up Pogba, who basically he's saying Pogba was brave because, you know, he would have ended up having Fred, maybe McTominay and Pereira in there if Pogba didn't put himself forward. So he bigged up Pogba as well, which that relationship is still not quite right. And that brings us on to the next kind of thing, which was Pogba's interview. Now, I read it first, just on Twitter and online, and you see the comments and you think, oh, I don't really think there's much in that. But then I thought, you know, let me actually watch that. And you know, you see people's body language and you hear the tone of their voice.
Yeah.
Something's not right there. Yeah. I don't know what it is. He was saying that I perform best, you know, when people trust me. We perform best. I perform for the fans, my teammates, only when people trust me. Do you think he's suggesting, like, maybe Mourinho doesn't trust him, but like he gave him the captaincy, but maybe he's trying to say that's not enough. I know the real feeling about me. Bruv,
it's a token gesture. Like, it's obvious. You know, when he came out and made that comment about head coach, it's very obvious that him and Anthony Martial are players that Jose would happily get rid of if he was allowed to. But Ed Wood was like, fuck that, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you smoking drugs? Those are our two best players, bruv. Like, two best outfield players. Do you know what I'm saying? And Jose would want to get rid of both of them. Jose doesn't like players with personality, players that take risks, players with a bit about them. He likes players that take orders, innit? He's very much like that.
Don't like the big egos. Nah. And if he does have the big egos, sometimes he even lets them be. Like the Zlatan thing, like Zlatan was almost too big for him to like say anything to him. Zlatan is Zlatan.
But even though Zlatan's a big man, like, they were very close. Do you know what I mean? They were friends. So it was kind of like Zlatan would go out there and bleed for him anyway.
Yeah, like Lukaku would, like Ashley Young would. Like he's got certain players that are Jose players, isn't it? Yeah,
he is. He's very autocratic like that. So because of that, the certain man, like free spirits like Pogba, he's not going to get on with. Do you know what I mean? And you can't tame a Paul Pogba. No. That's not how you get the best out of him.
No. You have to embrace his greatness, his flamboyance. Like, he's a big character. You have to embrace it. He's a commercial commodity for the club, first of all, which is why people like Ed Wood would have sanctioned that deal from before. Absolutely. Like, that was not a Jose signing, I don't believe. Like,
it wasn't.
Do you know what I mean?
He was coming back anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, the reason why Jose's kind of given the olive branch kind of armband thing is because Ed Woodward's basically said to him, listen, Pogba's not going nowhere, Martial's not going nowhere, so fucking deal with it, mate. Do you know what I mean?
The best out of them is tough.
But that's it. So because of that situation, I think Jose said, you know what, I'm going to give him praise. But you had a chance to give him praise after the World Cup and you didn't. Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of indirects.
Yeah, the first thing he said was, well, it's up to Paul to work out how to play best for us.
Well, there you go. He basically insinuated that Paul Pogba doesn't look like the same player because of himself and his attitude, when really it's because you don't know how to get the best out of him, because you don't give him the same freedom, you don't put the same faith into him. Did you see the way he was taking the team talks in that French dressing room like he was the captain? Like, Deschamps stood back and let Paul Pogba do what he needed to do. Mourinho said all this bollocks about, oh yes, because it's a confined environment. Pogba was still on social media. He was still dancing around with Griezmann and Mbappe and them, man. He was still banging
dancing
drums
to Afro beats and shit.
He was still doing all of that, and he was still putting out performances. His off-field stuff has nothing to do with his performances. He was playing for a manager that understood him, gave him the freedom and embraced who he is.
Because he's good enough. Pogba's good enough to do both. There's certain players who get accused of doing too much social media life and their shit performances on the pitch. But Pogba is definitely someone, he almost needs that outside life escapism from football. He's very much thankful for what he's got. He's come from not a lot. His family, I mean, you see his story and that. Those type of players who come from that background, who have like a feel-good factor about life, it's like he kind of thinks, yeah, football is a lot to me, but it isn't everything. I'm happy to be breathing. I'm lucky to be like earning from the thing that I love. He needs that away from football to be successful on the pitch.
Bruv, that's his personality, bruv. You cannot suffocate someone's personality. It's the same with Jesse. People are like, oh, Jesse's always messing around. That's who Jesse is, bruv.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But when he's on the pitch, he's a workman, bruv. No one runs more than him. Do you know what I mean? What he does off the pitch ain't got shit to do with his performances. Pogba, if you believe in the guy and you just say to him, listen, you're my guy, do what you need to do. He has that freedom in the French camp. He doesn't have that under Mourinho. And because of that, we're not getting the performances. That's all it is. I'd give him the armband for the rest of the season and you see what Paul Pogba does. The guy showed a lot of bottle saying to Sanchez, sit down, little man, I'm taking this penalty.
He absolutely took that off for a minute. No chance. Don't get me wrong. It's probably justifiable because Sanchez got his first goal from us from a dead missed penalty that he missed and then tapped it in. So Pogba probably thought this is mine.
But Pogba said, listen, mate, I'm the skipper, sit down, innit? Yeah. And that's what you need. That shows a lot of bottle, because after the run-up and everything, imagine if he missed that.
Exactly.
People would have been talking the most shit, saying, oh, I should have given it to Sanchez. No, he's got a firm belief in his own ability, and rightly so, because like pound for pound, there's no midfielder in the world that can see Paul Pogba when he's on his game. No one can see him. He can do everything, innit? So we have to 100% back Paul Pogba, like, and the manager needs to say, Paul, do your thing, bruv.
Just go and express yourself. What do you lot think? Do you think that the positivity from Mourinho this week was forced? Do you think he did it just because he had to? Or do you think, do you know what, Jose's turned a corner? He's trying to be positive. He's trying to get the best out of the squad. Rants is here laughing, but we want to know what you think. Drop your views in the comments on that situation there.
Turned a corner. He ain't turned no corner, bruv. He's a calculated man, innit? We know who he is. Like, I love and hate him for who he is, and I always knew he was that guy, innit? Yeah. He never says anything like on impulse. Everything is calculated. He's always sending a message to someone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's either subliminal or it's a direct message.
You know what, actually, just before we move off that subject, you touched on it. Mourinho did say, don't call me a manager anymore. Yeah. Call me a coach. Yeah, and that head coach, that's, to me, him saying, I've got zero control over what's going on here. Like, I pick the team, I pick the 11 and stuff, and I work with the players and the coaching techniques. But in terms of the targets coming in and the vision I see, I'm not really that guy.
I 100% agree with that. I don't think there should be any managers at top clubs. There should all be head coaches. If you're a top club, you need an ethos and a philosophy that outlives any manager. Anyone should be able to manage your club, because
they buy into the DNA.
You buy into the DNA and the infrastructure of the club. I feel like the DNA of the club as we know it died when Sir Alex Ferguson left, because we've had 3 different managers with 3 different identities, 3 different ethoses, 3 different styles, and it has hindered us, because we're literally fucking righting the wrongs. To get it back. We're righting the wrongs of the previous managers. Like, all the man that Moyes brought in, shouldn't be at the club now. Mata I would have sold, do you know what I mean? And Fellaini I would have fucking sold them. When you look at the man that LVG brought, 80% of them man are either gone or should be sold, blood. It's only really Martial that I look at and say, you know what, he's still Manchester United.
Schneiderlin went, Schweinsteiger went, Damian's on the brink.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's only really Herrera who's survived that as well.
There you go, and even under Herrera, like, when you look at it in the cold brightness of day, he's not really a Manchester United caliber. If we're at the level we're meant to be at, he's not in the team.
Again, we like him because he works hard and stuff like that, but really he's a squad player, isn't he?
That's what I mean. Whereas if you've got a director of football and you've got an ethos, they know this is like, they know this is the profile of players that we like at this club for this position, and then they scout and then they bring these men in. So regardless of who's involved, we're still working with a certain level, a certain caliber. So I do believe that's how Real Madrid do it, that's how Bayern Munich do it, that's how all the top teams do it, bro. Do you know what I mean?
We've actually gone into it. That was going to be the next part of the show, but really we're talking about it now anyway. There's a lot of breaking news or rumours, whatever you want to call it, that, you know, United are going to be restructuring the club at the end of the season and getting a director of football. For those of you who are not quite sure what a director of football is, that is basically a person who is a football purist, making purely football decisions in regards to players and recruitment. It's something we haven't had. At the moment, do you think that, you know, that's something that we can benefit from?
Bruv, I think it's about time. Welcome to the 21st fucking century, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, we're run by a bunch of clowns, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? That don't know shit about football, blood. Do you know what I mean? Them man only know how to get sponsors.
Which Edward was done very well, which is why he's probably getting loads of pats on his back from the Glazers, because commercially, monetarily, he's done his job.
But that's what I mean. Our fucking shirt's gonna look like a Formula 1 top, bruv, by the end of the season, bruv, if you leave Ed Woodward in charge. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking joke, bruv. That's all he's good at. And really and truly, he shouldn't be the guy doing that anyway. Like, he's got enough on his plate. Keep bringing us in the money from the pot noodles and that. That's cool, fam. But we need someone that knows about football, that just handles football.
Because Ed's not qualified. I don't care how well he does in the business market. How does Ed Woodward justify knowing what player to get, apart from looking at it commercially? Like a Sanchez, he's going to shell search. Like a Paul Pogba. Do you know what I'm saying? Apart from those kind of attributes, he doesn't know what to look for in a footballer. So I definitely think that a director of football is something that would definitely benefit us.
Absolutely, bruv. Like, even like, yeah, we bash Arsenal and that, but you see the Guendouzi, bro, that they bought, yeah, he's a fucking baller.
He can play, innit? He made a lot of mistakes the other day, but he wants the ball, and they got him for 6 million. And that's not us being, see, you lot are Arsenal support. Listen, we're football realists, me and Rants. We say it as it is. Arsenal look like they got a decent player for a very cheap price. He's from the French second division. That's like us getting someone from the Championship, maybe even League One, and putting them first team against the best team in the league.
Bruv, and he's got tech, man. He's got great feet. He can ping a ball and spray it as well, and he's tenacious in the tackle. And he costs 6 million. And we're getting fucking quoted stupid prices for man. Do you know what I'm saying? If you had a director of football, you can unearth little gems like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Leicester got Mahrez for 500 bags, bruv, and sold him for 60 million pounds, bruv.
And that only happens when you have the network. Obviously, yes, you've got your scouts, but you want someone at the top of that chain of the scouts, overseeing the scouts, who is purely dedicated to those footballing transactions and those personnel hunts, the hunts for the right type of player, and go looking deeper than just someone who's doing well at another club. It's about sometimes finding the talent before it's emerged.
That's it. It's all about the profile. Do you know what I mean? They'll say, okay, we want a right-sided player, but he has to be left-footed, he has to be quick. Do you know what I mean? And then a guy will say, okay, I know a few guys, boom, 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 boom. We need a profile. We need to know in every position, we want a certain profile of player to fit that. Right now, like you look at Valencia and you look at Darmian, bruv, they're not even similar right backs.
No.
One's quick, one's not. Do you know what I mean? Like both can't cross. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at our players, there's no profile. When you look at our left-sided players, Rashford, Martial, Sanchez, they're all completely different kinds of wingers. Do you know what I'm saying? On the right-hand side, Mata is not a fucking
He's not even a winger.
Like, do you know what I mean? When you look at the profile of our players, none of them match. Like, there's nothing. There seems to be no ethos, no structure. There's no similarity. Every time we put out a different 11, we're seeing a completely different style of football.
Is that the reason why? Is that the reason why we're basically seeing a different 11 each time, different tactics, different levels of performance? Because we're so inconsistent, we're so up and down, because we don't have that consistency with recruitment, the type of player, the profile, as well as obviously whatever coaching they want to work on and tactics. We're not actually seeing the type of player being brought in that fits what we want to do.
That's it. We don't have a consistent profile of player. We don't have a consistent even style of play, bruv. Like, and that's what I said about the coaching and the structure, because like certain teams, you know what I mean? When you look at the teams with the best coaches, yeah, when, like, for instance, because there's a difference between coaches and managers. Yeah, Jose's a manager, innit? You know what I mean? But his coaching is questionable. Like, defensively, he likes to keep it nice and compact, but in terms of attacking build-up and structure, there is none. Do you know what I mean? It's very clear that these players are just told, when you get the ball, do what you want. When you
try and score.
when you lose the ball, then get into a certain shape.
What about the people that will say, he's a manager who's won stuff? Surely he's not going on the training field and saying, like, come on, like, just attack and do what you want.
He's won stuff by keeping it tight and allowing his riches of world-class talent, yeah, to do the business down the other fucking end. He hasn't had peasants playing up front for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, behave yourself, man. Do you know what I mean? When you got the likes of the Etos, the Militos and that, the fucking CR7s, the Iron Robins, bruv, the Ibrahimovic, bruv, of course, they're gonna do something, bruv. But it's individual brilliance. A Drogba header or something like that, bruv. Do you know what I mean? But even Chelsea, yeah, when Chelsea were at the peak of their powers, yeah, like, when you got the Ranieri team, man had 2 flying wingers. Do you know what I mean? The Duff and Robin, they were irresistible, and then he brought in Didier Drogba to add to that. Do you know what I'm saying? But that was the style of play. That was a style of play that Ranieri like brought in, and he played a similar style with Leicester, with Mahrez. It was just Mahrez instead of Robin, but it was the same thing.
He even made Albrighton all right.
You see what I'm trying to say, bro? But there was a style in it. When you look at City, no matter what 11 plays, you know what kind of football they're going to play. With Liverpool, no matter what 11 plays, you know what kind of football. Same with Tottenham, no matter what 11 plays, bruv. I see the man play fucking Musa Sissoko blood as DM blood. It didn't matter who played there, because managers doing it because they've got the structure. In training, they will do the same drills over and over and over and over. One of my best friends is a Liverpool fan, bruv, and we watch their training, and them man do bag of 6-on-6s. They do 6-on-6 until it's boring, and then when they attack, it's 6-on-6 and they're attacking
small little groups and a pace.
That's it. What do we do when we attack? It's like, oh, get the ball, turn back. Oh, he's not made the run. Why hasn't he made the run? Because he hasn't been coached to make the fucking run. So everyone's doing what they want to do. And that's the reality, bro.
Do you think that with the arrival of a director of football, regardless of whether Jose does good or bad this season, let's say even if he does bad, let's say he keeps his job and he's our manager again next season. Yeah. Do you think that the arrival of a director of football will piss him off? Do you think that because do you think it's a sign of even less control than he has now? Yeah, absolutely. I think it will hurt his ego. Do you know what I mean? It will hurt his ego because he's always kind of been in charge. His problems at Chelsea as well were the fact that Roman is a very hands-on owner. Do you know what I'm saying? So there were obviously turbulent times here and there. I think same with Real Madrid as well. Like, he has to feel like he's in charge. He has to feel like he's the guy. And I feel like the longer he goes without winning anything significant, his actual aura is going to lessen and lessen and lessen. Do you know what I mean? And he won't be able to demand what he used to demand. So I genuinely think it's his last season anyway. What, even if he wins the... He has to win the league. I'm going to say, even if he wins the league, I know there's a lot of United fans just say, you lot are far off, Flex. What are you going on about? I'm just, okay, not win the league, but even if he has a good season, whatever we perceive that to be, let's say he makes progress somehow, you still think he might think, do you know what, this job's getting a bit difficult now. The board have distanced themselves from me. They didn't back me in the transfer window for whatever reason. The relationship's breaking down. You think that? Yeah, I think what he will try and do is win something and then leave like on a high, bruv. I think he's gone, bro. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't see the board selling Pogba or Martial, and I can't see him staying with these men for another year. If it's a choice, you definitely get the feeling with the board, if it's a choice between Pogba, Martial, or our best players, whoever they may be, because it could even go sour with Sanchez, and you know they might be thinking, no, we just got him. We're not getting rid of him. We'll rather get rid of you before we get rid of those commodities. Yeah. Absolutely, bro. Remember, Ed's a businessman. Yeah, think about it this way. Yeah. He sanctioned a deal for Anthony Martial when he was relatively unknown that went up to £56 million because he knew he had the long-term, the foresight, and he said, you know what, this guy is a potential Ballon d'Or winner. He's going to make us money, so we'll give you 36 million up front. And then Jose wanted to sell Martial in the fucking summer. He would have gone for 60 mil, bruv. If Martial has one good season, he's going for 150 million because he's that good. Do you know what I mean? So because of that, Ed's like, fuck that, I'm not selling him now. If anything, you play man for a season, he does bits, and then I'll get 150 M's for Martial, bruv, because fucking Dembele went for 140. And he's not that much better than Martial. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good player. I'm not saying he's crap. Yeah. But if you look at the pair of them, there's not, when Martial's on form, there's not much between them. Dembele went for 140, I think Mbappe went for 110 or 120. That means Martial's supposed to go for 100. But he would only go for 60 because he played half a fucking season and you ain't got the best out of him. So Ed's probably said, you know what, you're not even getting the best out of the man you have, so you don't deserve any more. Like, and I'm 100% behind that, bro. What about Jose saying, back to Jose, because he did say, I wanted to play Martial, you know, but I couldn't because of the minutes that people needed. I mean, Fred didn't have 90, Pereira couldn't, Pogba, etc., etc. I thought, do you know what? I actually looked at that specific comment, whether he likes Martial or not. I did kind of believe him there, because I think, even though he maybe wanted to play him, I do see why maybe he couldn't have in that game. So maybe in Brighton. Why though? Because if he's saying that Pogba couldn't have done 90 minutes, he said that Fred couldn't have, and didn't he say? I think he said Pereira maybe couldn't have. I can maybe see the reasoning behind it. The only way, actually, to be fair, the only way he could have put him on, he could have put him on instead of Lukaku. Pereira had the full pre-season, bro. So he should be fit. So he is fit. Do you know what I mean? Not should be, he is, bro. He had the full pre-season. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know about that. You know what I mean? And Rashford didn't play well, neither did Sanchez. So for me, both. That's what I mean. Up front, he could have. Yeah, he should have definitely come on. You know what I mean? He could have come on instead of Lukaku, really, because he's had more of a pre-season than Lukaku. Lukaku didn't have to come on. So I think that's nonsense. I believe that he didn't play him because he didn't want to play it. You just think like, no, I just didn't. Yeah. He's just trying to act like he did. Yeah, bro. Listen, Jose is very clear. If he likes you, he likes you. If you don't like you, don't like you, innit? That's why I told you, Luke Shaw, as soon as Ashley Young's fit, he's holding bench, fam. So Martial, Luke Shaw, even Pogba, you think they can win over Mourinho? There's going to be fans who say, "Oh, you lot are talking nonsense. You don't even know if he hates them." But whatever you may think, that's Pogba just made that up. You just made that up. Like that wasn't even an indirect. That was as direct as you get it. I play better where man trust me. Who is he? I wonder who he's talking. He weren't talking about us because we trust you, Paul Blood. Man saw the World Cup, and that's the thing. Like, this whole thing is about opinion, and I love that, and I sometimes we have our opinions where someone can't just come and change your opinion, but it's important to listen, and I understand that. But I'm not naive enough to think that all is rosy with Martial and Jose and all is rosy with Pogba, because it's not. You can clearly see that in body language. You can clearly see that in the indirects on social media. You can see that in the interviews. You can see that with the reluctance for Jose to come out and be positive about them players, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can see it. Like, you have to be naive, I think, to believe that there's nothing wrong and it's only the media agenda, because I'm not dismissing the media agenda. There is, like, certain things happen at Man United where if they happen somewhere else, you know what I mean?
There's always a media agenda against our club. There always has been.
And there always will be.
That's it. And there's always been a media agenda against Jose pretty much after his second season at Chelsea, because they loved him at the beginning. They thought, oh yeah, someone new to rival Sir Alec, because he was only a favourite because they hated us. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, there's someone to kind of put Fergie in his place. But as soon as Fergie started to dwindle and that, and they were like, right, well, this Jose geezer's getting a bit too big for his boots. We don't like him anymore. He's a bit of a cocky prick now. But at the beginning, they liked him. Do you know what I mean? And then they didn't like him after that. And then once they didn't like him, to be honest, he's not a very, very likeable manager. Let's face it. Like, he's not. Like, I liked him because I just like bad guys.
Yeah, and I like the arrogance. I like that whole divisiveness. I like the fact that he was going to come and stick it on other managers and stuff, and we just didn't really see that old school Jose. That's why I was gassed. I
like the way he stuck it on Arsene Wenger. I used to call him a loser and that.
Specialist in failure.
I mean? Like, he called Benitez fat and that, bro. Like,
Frank de Boer, he said, well, if he plays for you, he'd teach them how to lose.
But that's it, bro. Like, I'm all for that. I'm all for them kind of things.
But that's the Jose we love seeing.
I want to see that for our club. I haven't seen that for our club. I saw that for Chelsea. He came to us. It's almost like he was just picking up his last check, bruv. I haven't seen the same Jose, bruv. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like his heart's not in it like it used to be in it, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, there's a lot of question marks over the Jose that we got, man. For me, it's not the same guy. It's not. And a lot of people keep talking about what he did and what he used to do, bruv. Like, you're only as good as your last fucking game in football, blood. You're only as good as your last fucking trophy, as good as anything. Bruv, that's what it is. Football's ever changing. Ever changing, so I don't care what you used to fucking do, bruv. Do something.
What you do now, exactly. What do you guys think about Jose? What do you think about his positivity? What do you think about the director of football stuff? Do you think it's a good move for Manchester United to restructure the club and do that? Just before we finish the show, we always end. Now the season started, should I say, just to let you know the structure. We're going to start with obviously the review of the last game just gone, and then we're going to end on the preview for the next game. So let's just quickly get into the next game, which is Brighton away. We obviously lost to them at the Amex Stadium last time. It was a poor performance, exactly. You were standing right next to me, and I remember you saying throughout the whole game, Flex, just look, bro. Just look at this. Look how imbalanced we are. What's Matter doing? He's coming in from the right. Martial's coming in from the left. It was Rashford up front at the time. He looks like he doesn't know what's going on. Fellaini was playing in our midfield with McTominay and Herrera, if I remember, or was it?
McTominay and Pogba.
McTominay and Pogba, sorry. And it was dreadful. How do you see it planning out this time? Team selection, who should play? How should we approach that game?
Well, I think second game away from home, I think Lukaku's got to start this one. Do you know what I mean? Because Rashford was woeful. I'd drop Alexis, but he won't. You know the ones there. I'd drop him or play him on the right-hand side because Mata has no business there. Like, he drifts in too much and congests the centre of the pitch. I would play Sanchez on the right, Martial on the left, bruv. And I'd play
the same midfield three
up front, and I'd play the same midfield three because they're mustard. I like that midfield. I think that's our best midfield three. For me, even when Matic is fit, unless it's against one of the top clubs where we need his experience, I'm not playing you, bro, because you're not mobile enough. Like, Andreas gives us the mobility, Fred gives us the box-to-box, and Pogba gives us the genius.
Do you think the back will probably just pick itself? Obviously, Luke Shaw has played himself into the team, like, surely scored, and Ashley Young's not fit. Even if Ashley Young is fit, he'll probably go straight to right back over Darmian. If he's fit enough to play, surely. And obviously Lindelof and Bailly, yes, got Smalling and Jones there, but they had a pretty decent game. Unless there's like an injury to Bailly, which is possible in training, they've got to start now. It
is possible when you got Phil Jones in training. He just fucking clatter you, bruv. You know the ones there. But I think Lindelof and Bailly need to be given 10 games. They need to be given 10 games. I'm not trying to hear anything else. Do you know what I mean? Jose never picked the same. I think he never picked the same centre-back pairing, like all season, like more than 2 games in a row. I don't even think if it was 1 game in a row, changes it too much. How the fuck do you get any fluidity, any understanding when it keeps changing? I think you have to go for Bailly and Lindelof, go for Shaw again, and if Young is fit, I'd go ahead of Darmian for him, because Darmian offers fuck all going forward, bro.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? We don't need to go for a defensive fullback against Brighton, bro, at the Legoland Stadium, bro. I told man already, we should be stuffing these teams, bro.
Exactly, and it was embarrassing when we didn't last time, and they got the points off us that they needed to stay up last season. But that was last season. What's your prediction for the game?
3-1.
3-1. I'm going to say 2-1. I'm going to say 2-1. Scorers, I'm going to say Pogba, and I'm going to say Lukaku.
Yeah, I think Paul Pogba will get another one for sure, bruv. Yeah, bruv, Rom has to score if he starts, but you just never know, blood. Like that chance he missed the other game, blood. What I told you, man, about man like Lamar, blood, 50-50, blood, Lukaku, blood. I'm telling you, fucking hell, what was that?
A lot of people put it down to first game back, etc. But you're 6 yards out, man. He should have scored that.
Fucking horrendous, blood.
But if Big Rom gets a service, he will bag. He will bag. He's unplayable sometimes.
He'll still be our top scorer, and he'll be up there for the top scorer in the league either way. Do you know what I mean? But that chance was fucking mad. That's why he divides opinion, innit? Like he's so frustrating, Lukaku, bruv. You'll score the fucking hard one, then do that, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So I think Rom will score. Pogba will score, and for the third scorer, man's gonna go for, bruv, I'm just gonna say Alexis because I hope he scores, bruv, because he
needs a goal.
Bruv, he's given us what, 2.5 decent games, blood. The Tottenham game, was it Man City away?
Man City half,
game?
second half, and even I think there was a Huddersfield first half at home or something like that.
That's it, bruv. It's not been good enough, man. Like it's been dog shit, if I'm honest. So. Like, yeah, he needs to put his finger out.
That needs to change. Listen, guys, we've come to the end of the show. We're loving your comments. We're loving your feedback. And the interactivity. Add Rants on Twitter, at Rants and Bants. Add myself, FlexUTD. Hit us up on the socials. Follow the United Stand on Instagram as well. Me and Rants been doing a lot of live stuff on there, interacting with you guys. We love it. If there's anything during each week, that you think you want us to discuss on the show, let us know, man. Get at us on Twitter. You know where we are. Drop your comments in the boxes below as well. We're loving the feedback from you guys and the support. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Boom.